All right, rapid fire, buddy.
Ooh, there's a lot of receivers, so honestly, there's a lot of receivers. You and I, same page. I like that hardware store, not the toy store. I need Ace. I don't need Toys R Us. So give me some substance. And receivers have been way down on the list, other than Jalen Knoll, who I had profiled earlier, who I still love. And let me just read this from somebody in the Iowa State locker room that I got this from yesterday on Jalen. Tell me that this is not a Seattle Seahawk. Great player to have in the locker room, always leading and speaking to everybody in the room. He's going to bring the energy every single day on and off the field. Such a smart player. Knows what he's doing every play. Knows what everybody else is doing. Unbelievable speed and quickness to get out of routes without any waste of movement. Hands are good. Even though he's a smaller player, goes up and just gets it. Scrappy guy who simply wants to win. Is that not a Mike McDonald?
Sure sounds like it.
Oh, my gosh. So I know I've talked about him in the past. I'll be real curious. And maybe Bump has talked about Kyle Williams. He's going to be a Coug receiver drafted really high. I saw Chris Sims saying Kyle Williams like ahead of Tetaroa McMillan.
Maybe he likes football more.
He loves football.
Well, there you go. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he likes watching film.
When you grind at UNLV for 3 years, as he did, and then you go over to the Palouse and you put up a 1,000-yard season, almost 30 touchdowns in his years in college. Kyle Williams, we've not talked about at all. Could he be a third? If he's sitting there in the third round, could he be a fit for Seattle?
What does he do best?
He's an absolute baller. Hands are a little questionable. Everything else, routes, power,
Sounds
playmaking,
like what we've seen
speed,
here the last few years.
Kind of. You feel like maybe that's a little work in progress. Another name is, and I know Hawk Blogger loves this guy, is Jack Besh out of TCU. Also reached out to Sonny Dykes, his head coach, yesterday. And this is where, like, if I did Daniel's job, this would be a real weakness of mine. I don't know if I could cut through the spin well enough. I think I would need you. I think I need to do it on speakerphone and just read your body language and your face, and you'd be like, not buying that.
Yeah, that's not real. Yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, Jack Besh, 6'1", 215 pounds. If you remember his story, he started at LSU as kind of an H-back tight end, super productive, was like, no, I want to be a receiver. So he goes to TCU, and this year just kind of blew up, over 1,000 yards, was a better receiver than Savion. I think I still kind of like Savion Williams. So there's a couple names. Kyle Williams we've not mentioned. Jack Besh. Okay. Maybe more of a slot guy. Maybe the next Cooper Kupp, right? Kind of diminished because he's like, well, what is he? Is he fast enough? Is it?
Can you make sure you get to one of the two guys the Seahawks are going to draft in the first round?
You think they're going to take
the two safeties? Yeah.
Okay. So Nick Emenwari from South Carolina. 6'3", 220. You know what he ran? 4.38. You know what his first 10 were? 1.49. I told you, big boy Tyler Booker ran 1.96, half a second faster in the first 10 yards. I mean, that's just off the charts. 41-inch vertical. I mean, just super, super freaky, right? So I went back and looked at Cam Chancellor. How would that compare to Cam Chancellor?
Better.
Yeah. I mean, Cam was a fifth rounder because Cam, same height, 6'3". Cam was 10 pounds heavier, 230. Cam ran 4.62. Right? He jumped 32. This kid jumped 43. Cam jumped 9'8". This kid jumped 11'6" in the broad jump. Almost 12 feet broad jump. Like, the twitch is off the charts. But reading DJ, and DJ had him as his 15th best player. I mean, way up there. But he's got to be around the ball. And I don't know in this split safety system if you're going to get, if he could play in Pete's old post system and be Cam Chancellor around line of scrimmage, you take him at 18. I don't see that happen. I really don't. Because of this system and Mike McDonald clearly saying to John, we're not doing that. We're not taking that safety. We're not taking the kid out of Georgia. You mentioned Malachi Stark's not doing it. Because in Julian, and not only do you have people here, I think just the way they play, you're not asking them to be Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. That system, you needed Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor. I think we've seen with Kobe Bryant and Julian Love, who are both 4'6" guys and played a really high level. I don't need that. I don't need those kind of traits. So I'd be surprised there. You wanted me to ask about Derek Harmon.
Well, just because he's come up a lot, especially in the second round as a defensive tackle.
Well, my Oregon source said there is no chance in the world, no, nay, never. He's not a first rounder. He's going in the first round. So I wouldn't take him, I don't think, in the first round, because you know what I get very fearful of, Salt? I get very fearful of guys that for 3 years at one place put up 3.5 sacks in 3 years.
He's a defensive. Oh, total?
Total.
No.
Yeah, in 3 years.
Sorry.
Like, it was largely a nothing burger in East Lansing. And then he goes to Oregon, surrounded by second rounder, third rounder, second rounder, great talent, great players, get way ahead, get to rush, get to do these things, and turns it on with a 1 year wonder. That kind of, That kind of worries me a little bit. Now, super twitchy, 6'4", 320, ran 4.95. Like he's gonna be a first rounder. I just don't know if there's enough consistent production for me or those Seattle Seahawks.
So if you were to take a defensive tackle, you would go with?
I think I'd go Kenneth Grant.
Over him.
And Kenneth might be in those 20s. Yeah, might be in those 20s. Okay, let me give you a name that I have never mentioned. I wanted to do this, and I'm glad that DJ mentioned linebacker. Carson Schweschinger, Southern California kid, UCLA. Walk-on at UCLA. I think he was Thousand Oaks High School. It's at least where he did his private workout. So reached out to a few people in the NFL, maybe another linebacker coach, and yeah, heard the same thing from everybody, and that is this dude is instinctive. I mean instinctive. 6'2", 240. He was third in the country, Salk, in total tackles this year, 136. He led the FBS in 90 total tackles. Remember watching him play, UW the last couple of years. I'm like, that guy is just on the ball. He's all over the ball. He's all about the ball. And really, it's Jihad Campbell, who DJ had it going 12. And then it's this guy somewhere. DJ had him as his 40th best player. 40th best.
Wow.
But because there is such a cliff and such a massive drop-off for schemes like Mike McDonald's that want inside linebackers that are instinctive, that know ball, that are difference makers, that have to fit, have to communicate, that is a name that I'm going to keep
good value
in the
third round.
Oh, he won't last the third round.
Really?
You'd have to take him if he's somewhere at 50 or 52, or maybe come up a few picks. It would be really hard.
It'd be hard to do.
See, I don't think Mike McDonald looks at safeties and beats the drum and stands on the table. I think Mike McDonald looks at inside linebackers and says, I need that guy.
It's funny because when he first was coming here, that was, hey, look what he's done with safeties.
Yep.
Right? Deion Jones, right? Or whatever the guy's name was
Gus,
in Baltimore.
There was a Gus that couldn't run a lick either, and he got paid elsewhere and had like 8 picks with Baltimore.
Yeah.
Well, look what he did with Kobe and Julie.
I know.
Yes.
So maybe
Geno
he just
Stone.
doesn't need the like he could.
Gus Stone.
Geno Stone.
Geno Stone.
Gus.
Kyle
Geno,
Hamilton. Yeah.
Stone Forsythe. Yeah.
Don't forget about Stone. I'm just not going to forget about Stone Forsythe.
I never will.
All
Salky.
right. Is
I
that
never
it?
will.
Is there a guy named Stone in this draft? Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, well, we'll do this on
We'll
Friday.
get him late in the draft, though, because he's sinking like a.
Well, we really do appreciate you guys watching our videos.
And remember, you can like it, you can subscribe it, you can download the Seattle Sports app so you never miss a minute.